Hello dear students, welcome back to the YouTube channel of NIRS of Class 6th Science. Dear students, in the previous class we were discussing about the concept from where do we get the water from. Okay, so we discussed the various sources of water through which we get the water supply to our villages and towns through the connection of pipes. Okay, so now let's go for the from where the water comes to these water sources such as rivers, lakes, ponds. Okay, so dear students, you must remember here, look at the diagram. This is the diagram of earth. Okay, so you must know that about two-thirds of our earth is covered with water. Means out of three parts, two part of our earth is covered with water. Okay, so our earth consists of about two-thirds of our earth is consist of water. So most of this water it is present in oceans and seas. So most amount of this water is present in seas and oceans. Okay, so here you can see in the diagrams. Okay, so most part of the earth is covered with the seas and oceans. So the water in the seas and oceans has many salts dissolved in it. So whatever the water which is present in the seas and oceans, it is having many salts which are dissolved in it. So that's why the water in the sea and oceans is a saline. Saline in the sense salty. Okay, it is salt in tasty. Okay, salty in tasty. That's why the water in the rivers and the seas and oceans is saline. So it is not fit for drinking and even for other domestic activities, agricultural and industrial needs. So that is because of this reason. So this because this water which is present in the major quantity in the rivers and in the seas and oceans, which is having many salts dissolved in it, so the water is very saline, so it is not fit for drinking. So not only for drinking, so for all other domestic activities we cannot use this salt water. So not only this one, the major part of this water which is present in the seas oceans cannot be used even for the agriculture purpose and even for the industrial purpose. Hence only the water which is not having a salty content, so such water can be used for agriculture purpose, industrial purpose and some other domestical activities. So hence the water which is the pure water, so that is less in quantity in the earth. Okay, but the salty water is more in the seas and oceans. So that's why you must remember the water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. This is a rhyme which is written by one a person, St. Coleridge, because so that is the importance of the water. This poet has described what is the importance of the water. Okay, he has discussed about the plight of sailors on a ship who are traveling in a ship, so who have lost in this ocean because they are running shortage of the water. Yes, but yet oceans play very important role in supplying the water that we use. So yet the water which is present in the seas and oceans, okay, so yet it is having the salty water. Okay, but still it is very useful, it is playing very important role in supplying the water to our to the all the sources of water from that we use. Okay, so it is not directly that this water is playing an important role in the water which is present in the seas and oceans. Indirectly it is going to help us. How? So you must remember this. Now it must be very surprising for you. So after all, okay, so after all the water that we use is not salty, am I right? So but most of us live in places which is far away from the oceans, am I right? So does that water supply in these places also depend on the oceans? So does the water supply in the places where there is a salt, where there is oceans and seas are there, they also depend on the oceans only? No. So how does the ocean water reaches our ponds, lakes, rivers and wells which supply water to us? Okay, how does this water which is present in the oceans and seas reaches our water sources such as rivers, lakes, ponds, wells, etc.? So this is how the water, okay, so comes, this is how, this is where the concept comes here, that is water from these sources is not saline anymore. Then where do, so if we are receiving the water from the oceans to rivers, lakes and ponds, then where does the saline water go? So that is where the water cycle comes in. Okay, so here we come across a concept called water cycle. Okay, so let us understand what is water cycle. So in that, let me explain a very short, that is disappearing trick of water. So water plays, okay, so it is having some characteristics. Those are evaporation. Okay, so one important characteristic of water is, so it undergoes evaporation. Okay, so what is that disappearing trick of water? That is nothing but evaporation. Let's see with an example. So how many times we have noticed that? So the water, see, we all have noticed. Okay, so whenever the water falls on water spills on the ground in front of our home, or on our rooftop, or on the roads, it quickly dries up after a very short period of time, 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like this. Okay, so water seems to be disappeared within a short period of time. Where does this water go? Yes, you must think of it. Similarly, so water disappears from the clothes as they dry up. Okay, so you are going to wash your clothes. Okay, they become wet. Okay, so where you hang it on the wires or the pipes or whatever the place you have in your houses. Okay, so when the water is, when you hang it up on the wires or whatever the place you have, so in the hot sun, what happens? The water disappears from that wet cloths as they become dry. Am I right? Look at the figure 14.4 here. Yes. So this is because the disappearing trick of water is nothing but evaporation. So even the water from the wet roots, okay, if it rains today, within 2 days the water is disappeared. Okay, how it is from the roots? Yes, how the water disappeared? See, so water from the rooftops on our house rooftops, it is also disappeared, and few other places, or even the water which is present in your, see, if your field is completely filled with the water. Okay, so if it is very muddy when it is raining, so after, when the rain stops after 1 2 3 4 days, again it is dried up. Okay, disappears after the rains. So where does this water go? Okay, so for this question, so let us discuss the answer in the next class. Okay, dear students, let me stop here and let me continue the next concept in the next class. Thank you and have a nice day.